going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Box to Box. Obviously, Premier League is back, people, and it's another big one. It's a bigger one now that Liverpool have dropped points. I know there's a lot of people that still believe out there, and that will do that belief the world of good, that's for sure. But it's up to us to capitalise, and we play before Liverpool play next, and they've got another tough one away at City, and we've got a London derby of our own. Some might call it tough, some may look at West Ham this season and say, you know, regardless of the injuries up top, we should get the job done. But I'm here with none other than, I know Box to Box took a little break, but in the West Ham previews, you know what it is, people. Dan Lawless back in the building. Dan, what are you telling me, my bro?
Yeah, mate, it's good to be back on. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about being back on because when you had Nicky on, when I wasn't about for two Box to Boxes, we beat you.
I knew you was going to mention that, you know. I knew.
Yeah, and now you brought it back, so I'm going to feel responsible if we lose this game.
Nah, man, look at the way you lot are playing, man. If you lose this game, it's how many wins has Potter got? One win since he's come in.
Yeah, he's got one win. We got one win, but, you know, we can't judge him because of process, Process.
Something
You trust
like that.
it. We
We've
know
heard
you
that
trust
before.
it.
We've heard
Yeah.
that somewhere before.
We have to trust processes, right? So I'm going to trust it.
Let's start there, Dan, because you actually seem happy. The last time Box to Box was around, the last time we spoke on it, David Moyes, won a trophy, but you still maintain that, you know, to push on with the quality of players you have. Now, that replacement that came in, you know, the less said, the better, I guess. But Potter's come in now 6, 7, 8 games. I'm not too sure how many. Picked up one win. But how are you feeling? Because you seem happy. You seem like, you know, Potter, you're comfy with him. You know that he's picked up not a mess, because I feel like your squad has got gems throughout it, but a messy situation, to say the least.
Yeah. Like, do you know what? I'm happy in the sense it feels like, I know we joke about process and that, but it feels like there's a long-term project at the club. The way Moyes ran the club, I didn't see the long-term vision. It felt very short-term. He liked to play with a small squad. We had an aging squad, which Lopetegui inherited and strangely added to, like 32-year-old Füllkrug and players like that. And that's what Potter has inherited. It's the leftovers of the leftovers. And we did sign some players in the summer, but again, I was just a bit sceptical at the age profiles. And where Potter's come in, look, I don't have to tell you guys about injuries. This season, I think, for most teams has been a bad one for injuries. But when you're coming in and picking up a team that are having these injuries and you're trying to play with them and get them to play a little bit more high tempo as well, where they've been playing like walking football all season, and now you're trying to, and those so now you're getting injuries on top of injuries. It is a tough one, and for a lot of few games, I've been happy. Brentford aside, I wasn't happy with Brentford, but like the first game against Villa, before Füllkrug and Somerville went off, the way we were playing, like high pressing, you know, moving the ball quickly, more direct, none of this little sideways, backwards pass. And I know you guys have seen it at Arsenal, and we see it all season with Lopetegui. It's just like slow build-up play, pass it amongst yourselves in your own half, look around, pass sideways. And we saw that against Brentford, which I was really disappointed. And I don't know, we got to coach this nonsense out of them. But Potter feels like what can happen in the summer, we can actually identify some gems like he did, and we can build something around a more positive style of play. He's given youngsters a chance, you know, which we like to see, which we didn't see any of that under Lopetegui. We didn't see it really under Moyes since Rice. So, yeah, man, like, I'm not enjoying it at the moment in terms of results, but for the future, I've got hope. It could all go wrong, but like it did.
But that's part of being a fan, isn't it? Obviously, but it's the first time. It's the first time I'm talking to you, and you seem happy enough with the manager, but that manager sits just above the relegation zone. There is a gap there. So, is it safe to say that as long as, you know, that gap remains comfy, he's going to be in charge for the summer and he's going to be in charge going into next season?
Yeah. Like, to me, even if we got relegated, like, which I don't think will happen because it is like, I think it's like a 10, 12 point gap or something like that. And those teams in the bottom three are horrendous.
Yeah.
You know, especially Leicester, who you guys just beat, and Southampton especially. So it's between like Wolves and Ipswich for me for that third spot. But yeah, like even if he did take us down, I don't see the point of then going switching it up. Like, let's get in there for the long haul. But I think we'll pick up enough points between now and the end of the season to do that. And hopefully, them points, we start picking them up on Saturday. Because that will be oh so sweet.
Of course it would, man. You're always up for a few points off Arsenal. Last time out, you got the free, and as much as last season we look at the Aston Villa one towards the end. I look more at that patch in December where we lost to you, we lost to Fulham back to back, equally with the Aston Villa one. It's just the Aston Villa one came amongst some immaculate form that we hadn't seen at the Emirates before, that's for sure. In terms of consistency, picking up points, and it was just that bump along the way. Whereas that West Ham game and Fulham game, back to back, midway point of the season, around Christmas time, I look back at those and think, if only a couple more points. But you got the win in that one. We've obviously beaten you twice since and got a hell of a lot of goals, but that's been at your place, and that's tended to be the case the last few times. How you feeling about this one? Like, you tend to be an honest guy as well. As much as you'd love nothing more to get the 3 points, you also tend to be honest about your chances anytime you do come Emirates.
And you know what? Like, it's weird. Like, this time round, I feel strangely optimistic, which is a madness to say with our form, right? Especially how we played against Brentford. I feel strangely optimistic because there's a few reasons. The injuries that you have in your forward line, it can't be understated. The players, your Saka, Martinelli, Jesus, even Havertz, who has been hit or miss.
Yeah.
Like, it's still a loss because he can come in with some goals and his general play up top. So the way I look at it, the big problem was Potter. Like, we've been playing so well with a back three, like since he come in, and then he decided to go to a back four and with Mavropanos, and you remember Mavropanos. Mavropanos has been so error prone for us. He scored against you guys, which last time we came to your ground. But yeah, man, like I just don't know what he was thinking. So I'm feeling like he's going to learn his lesson, go to that back three where our defensive structures looked a lot more solid, and you know what I mean? You're going to see us actually moving the ball around a lot better because we're packing out that midfield a little bit more as well with the fullbacks and high up the pitch. So that's why. You know what I mean? It took quite a lot for you guys to get them 2 goals. You got your 2 goals, Moreno.
Yeah.
Fair play. If he's going to be the long-term solution for the rest of the season, we will see. But we need a bigger sample size before we see if Moreno is going to fill in that gap. So yeah, man, because of that, I feel like we could get something. Like, look, if we lose, I'm not going to sit there going, oh my God, like, I can't believe we lost.
Yeah.
There's a bit of unknown. Like, we need to see a little bit more of Arsenal under this setup and a bit more of West Ham. Like, but we need a response, and that's what I'm also counting on, because that Brentford game was horrendous, and we need a response. We need to go back to that back three.
I understand the optimism. I mean, I expect them to start Marino up top, right? But that essentially leaves nothing on the bench to change it up, because against Leicester we needed something off the bench to change it up, and that was Marino. If we do go start him, which I think we should, after 2 goals off the bench to win a game, 2 chances off at that, you start the guy. That means a Sterling would be coming on, or a Tierney if we needed a goal and we were struggling like we did against Leicester. Only difference is that's away from home. This is at home, but this is against a better team with more threats in general, I'd say, because this season, again, most your quality players haven't been quality, but I guess that's because of Lopetegui, the system, and now adjusting to Potters. But who do we have to look out? Who's your main man going into this? Like, who for you is the one that, if you're gonna get something out of it with that slight confidence, it's gonna be this guy that produces maybe not the moment of magic, but he's the reason behind it.
Yeah, well, one of the main man I would have said, and this is where that confidence is dented, and that's the thing. I wouldn't even say it's optimism and not confidence, because I wouldn't put my name to it that we're gonna get something.
Yeah, fair.
I feel like like encouraged, but I'm not like like this is it, because there's still unknowns. But especially now, Paqueta has picked up a fresh injury in training, done his ankle, and he could be out for 4 weeks. He seemed to be the player that benefited the most from Graham Potter coming in. Like, we saw just a different player than we've seen all season. Losing him is going to be huge. But without him, it's going to be Jared Bowen, like, without a doubt. Like, he's finishing, it's just top notch. He's been absolutely class for us. So he is going to be the main man to watch out for. Kudus, it's not really been his season, man.
What's happened with him? I was actually going to ask about him.
I think it's a number of things. Like, the best I see Kudus this season was Graham Potter's first game, and he played like Somerville on the right wing, and he played like Kudus in the 10, and they were like teaming up, doubling up, where two players would try and double up on Kudus. You'd have Somerville there to back him up. They were pressing together, and where we haven't got as many threats at the moment, Somerville was injured. Teams are just figuring him out. They're just doubling up on him, tripling up on him, suffocating him out the game, and he's having a hard time of it. And you could see, like, even just simple things, like we was on a counter attack against Brentford, a simple pass, he had time, he had space, plays the ball behind the player. It's like his confidence has knocked. He had that game against Spurs where he got the red card and, the violent conduct, lost his head. So I think there's a multitude of things there. I think it's mental, but I think there's also an element of teams are figuring him out because the other players haven't been great. It's not like the defenders doubling up on him is creating this space that other players can exploit. So it's all going to be about how Bowen is utilised with him. He was injured for quite a while. So that's going to be the key.
What about Arsenal in terms of... To be honest, I think it's going to be an easy answer for you. Who's Arsenal's biggest threat for you? Who do you need to keep quiet?
Gabriel.
Gabriel. I don't think. To be honest, that also makes sense. That makes a lot of sense too. If I'm honest with you, I thought you'd say Ethan, but Gabriel, I get it. Yeah, Ethan. Set pieces haven't been your bag this season, or
not scoring them. Our set pieces have been shocking.
What about defensively?
I don't think it's been terrible. I wouldn't say it's been great. I think we've been bang average, and it depends what players are playing. And this is why, like on the preview on our channel, I advocated for Souček, and I never advocate for Souček. But this game, because he's good in both boxes, Souček has to play. Yeah. So obviously Nwaneri, he's gonna be your friend. He's probably gonna be out of all the attacking players you've got available. He's still young in that, but he's gonna be the one to watch out for. But yeah, man, like them set pieces, Gabriel is lethal in them. He must be one of your top goal scorers this season, surely.
Yeah, he's up there. 100%. What is it? Saka, Havertz, and then he might be third.
Yeah, he's got to be. He
might be third.
So but yeah, like Rice is going to be an interesting one because there's been games usually at our ground, maybe because he feels at home, he turns up. But
have you let that one go yet? Because I know there were some sour grapes, and you couldn't resist the jab. But have you let it go yet? Or
sure, yeah, I'm over Rice. A lot of people, like, whenever I criticize Arsenal, they're like, "Oh, it's because of Rice. It's because of Rice." Yeah, I'm
he was like this before. I'll let people know he was like this before. People, don't worry.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. I was always like, yeah, exactly. I was coming on with you before that.
I've known you for a little while now, Dan. It's mad.
But yeah, I did feel a type of way towards him. And there's a certain small part where I do feel a certain type of way towards Rice in, there's going to be that little bit of a pantomime villain. Like, if he flops, I'm going to take some joy in him in flop. Like, if he has a bad game, I'm going to smile. Like, that sort of thing. But I'm not sitting there like, Rice, damn
it. If he wins the Premier League, you're going to be proud?
Nah, I'm not. I would be something like that. He wins the Prem. Like, I would love it if he moved to Arsenal, right, for the trophies, and the only thing he ever wins was what he won with us, and that was the European thing. And it's going to be interesting. This is why, and again, like, the positive Arsenal fans won't let me saying this, but Arsenal have to win the big ones soon to justify these players that want to win. Because, and it's so important. But yeah, Rice, it's just going to be a case because he's had some shocking games against us. And he's had some very good games against us.
Do you think there's a chance for us? Didn't I mean? Well, this is being recorded after Liverpool. I said at the beginning, Liverpool have drawn to Villa, so it's 8 points at the moment. They've played a game more. We beat West Ham. It's 5. They're going to Etihad the next day. What do you think? There's like, if you had to put a likelihood on it, percentage wise, in terms of Arsenal's chances, where do you see it at this moment?
Probably 15 to 20%. And I say that because mathematically, I would say it's higher, right? And Liverpool, we've seen them in these positions before and they bottled it. Don't let it slip. And Gerrard slipped, and all the stuff there, and then Palace away. Like, they've had it in their hands before,
Yeah.
Man City. So we have seen it, but the injuries that you've got, for you to have the type of form it's going to take to overtake Liverpool and have Liverpool drop a load of points and then you guys be perfect near enough, that's a big ask. That is a big ask. And like I say, it took a while to get those goals against Leicester. Before you had these injuries, there were games where you were struggling for goals. That even then, going back to December times, there were games where it was an effort to get the ball in the back of the net.
You're not wrong.
So now I look at it, unless Marino becomes this secret superstar hidden gem striker, which if he does, a lot of Arsenal fans will have to reevaluate their opinion on that January transfer window, because maybe it makes
never.
Come on.
Well, they can't pull another rabbit out the hat and tell me that it was the right decision, man. Unless we win the league, it would have been despite the window, but cool.
Yeah. But well, that's a but say Marino, he's got 2 in it now. So say he gets and between now and the end of the season, he gets 12 goals or something.
Bro, don't do this, because last season we went Dubai, we came back, Havertz went up top. He scored about 13 goals or 12 goals, and then we went into this season thinking so you're telling me we come back from Dubai, we put Marino up top, he scores. I don't want to hear that again. Buy a striker this summer.
Fair
Buy
enough.
a striker this summer. That's all that's...
Fair enough. No, but that might justify not getting it in January, because I kind of understood Potter and Arteta were saying similar things of it has to be the right player. We're not just going to sign a player for players' sake. Now, you can argue Arsenal, in your position, should just be paying whatever, right? I don't know the finances and the FFP restrictions of Arsenal.
Apparently very good.
Yeah, so if you're good and you pay over the odds, if you're confident that this guy is going to come in and hit the ground running and get you over the line. If not, then you might as well wait till the summer. But then you are throwing away the season. So that, I get that. But you have to say, if you're boom, this guy is a killer. He's going to bang goals and get us, fucking get us the league. Then, pay over the odds. And that's bad on them if they was in a position to do that, and they didn't do that. So I understand it.
Even the position we're in, bro, even forget the over the odds. I mean, Osimhen 60, Gyökeres 80, you'd be giving us more than 20% chance of winning this league if I asked you that question with one of them on board. Do you get what I'm saying? It would have been, even I'd be sitting here saying, listen, let's make it 5 and see where they're at after Etihad. And then, I'd go into Forest and United, because those are the 2 next week for us, Forest and United away after we play you, where I'm all right, Liverpool have dropped it against Villa. They might drop some against City. Are we going to beat Forest and United away back to back? That's the next conundrum in this title race, or whatever we call it.
I want to quickly just turn it on you. I just want to quickly ask you, because I'm so interested to hear this, because I've heard a lot of criticism about the Cronkies for not spending. But I just want to know your reason why you think they aren't, or they haven't in this January, because they've shown Arteta, they've backed him summer after summer after summer, Januaries, they've splashed money on him. Why do you think now they've decided to tighten the purse strings?
Because we're back in Champions League, and that's all they care about. Even the money, Dan. You know how it is with Arsenal fans online. On one hand, people can very much argue that online they're the worst of the lot when you're looking at fan bases. But at the same time, other fans towards Arsenal, they also give it a bit extra. So when it comes to finances, you always hear the 700 mil spent, 700. It's on the tip of everyone's tongue. 750, 700.
50, yeah.
But after City won the treble, right? they've spent more than us since. So I'm not saying 750 mil is not more than enough to get us a trophy at the very least. But the team that won the treble with the squad they had then spent more than us since.
Yeah.
I know they're below us now, so someone could argue, but look what's happened to them. But my point is that it's not that we have spent, but they had a lot of making up to do, bro.
Yeah, because they
Years of
weren't
neglect.
spending. And they're looking at it like, well, Wenger was getting us top four consistently with hardly any, very little spend. Summers where you just signed Peter Cech.
But don't forget, Wenger got let go after 2 seasons out of the top 4. That was when he got let go, when it started affecting the pocket. Champions League, no, Europa. And that's when they moved. So I always said, let's get back to square one. And that's back in the Champions League. I was impressed by the Rice summer. Not Havertz, but in general, going for 100 mil player, City coming in for him, we win the battle. That impressed me. I'm like, all right, cool. Square one, it seems like we're moving different. The 3 windows since January, summer, and January have been shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even mincing my words here. Shit, all 3. For one reason or another, whether it's not buying anyone last month or summer, Marino and Calafiori, is, Sterling on deadline day, letting 4 attackers go. It was a very silly summer. And it's, and that's phase 5 or year 5. So, bro, they're under in my opinion, under the microscope. But you know how it is, bro. Owners don't get talked about half as much as the manager. So
No.
when push comes to shove, if it does go pear-shaped, or this summer comes and goes and we don't get the right people, and then next season we don't win something and Arteta's finished and his head is on the line because of it, then a new manager comes in and it's like, oh, let's get behind him. The owners always get away with it.
It's
Always
society.
get away with it, bro.
Yeah, it's that society. It's because it's easier to get managers out than owners. I don't know anyone that's got that their owners have got their owners out after, unless they've car crashed the club and taken it down to nearly relegation or beyond. And then they set up the club. But I don't know anyone where they're in Europe or mid-table and they're like, sell the club.
No.
We've been trying to do it for years.
Yeah. Listen, I know we're not the only. Yeah, trust me. I look around and we're not the only ones in this sort of a predicament. But
Man United are a mess. So.
Yeah. But what's funny about them? They thought Ineos buying 25% all of a sudden. Ineos era. It's like, brother, these men just own a quarter of the company. It's still Glazers. They've just given you a new face. That's what Stan did with Josh. Stan said, son, I've said a bit too much. I said I didn't buy them to win trophies. I can't be the face of this. You be the face.
He's not just the face of the club. You got a mural of it. And listen, I see a video you did where you was talking about it. You smashed it, but you got a mural of Josh Kroenke on. That's insane. That's like us getting Jack Sullivan and painting him on the wall. After we got to Europe and now we won put Jack Sullivan on there. That's mad to me.
I don't know anymore, Dan. I'll be honest with you. I don't know anymore. But listen, it's been a longer than usual box to box, but that's because me and Dan, like I said before, we've known each other a little while now. It's always a good conversation. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Hit the like button. More importantly, go over, subscribe to Dan's personal channel and obviously West Ham Fan TV as well. Let them know the details, personal channel, social media. We'll put it in the description as well.
Yeah, Lawless Live, YouTube, @the Lawless. Obviously West Ham Fan TV. I'm on Instagram, I barely use it. But yeah, man, they're the 3 main ways you can find me.
There you go, people, man. Come on, show Dan some love, show the video some love. Make sure you subscribe.
They won't be showing me love. They Arsenal fans, but they never.
Well, actually, I forgot. What's your prediction? Actually, Arsenal home team. I'm gonna go 3-1 Arsenal. Oh, I'm gonna say 2-1 Arsenal. Dan.
I'm gonna say 2-1 West Ham. I got pushed it. I was gonna go for a draw, and then Nicky went for a draw, so I went nah. Forget it. Let's put the chest out. Let's go 2-1 West Ham.
2-1 West Ham. Look, he's smiling, thinking about it.
That'd be so sweet.
He's smiling, thinking about it. All right, people, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Give us your prediction, thoughts, comments, all of that in the comment section. Love for the love. We'll see you again soon. Peace. We're out.